How much coke off of feet has this guy done? That's what I want to know.
We'll find out in my video.
When Rolex acquired them, I think in the watch collecting community, people were like, this is going to be amazing.
And now they're not going to exist.
When you hear what the financial losses have been, 250 million Swiss francs that they lost, that's massive.
Yeah.
Imagine buying that watch from him and then finding out not only did you pay whatever, you paid 100K,
X amount.
And then the police come knocking on your door 2 months later. Sorry to tell you.
That's not your watch.
But that's not your watch. It's a stolen watch.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Watch Bros. I'm Jason.
I'm Felix.
And today we're going to be talking about watch news. So we'll wait to get into it. We'll just go over each topic as we talk. But, how was your weekend?
It was good. It was Mardi Gras over here. So I know you enjoyed it for a bit. I don't celebrate. I just don't do anything.
Yeah. I had 3 days of heavy drinking.
Nice. So.
And I'll be honest with you, I'm a little nervous right now. It's been a few weeks since we've done it between the lugs.
It has been a little bit of a while.
Yeah. So I feel a little out of sorts. I don't know if that's the 3 days of drinking that I did.
A little bit. Could be.
Or if it's because
4 days.
4 days. I know. Felix poured me some tea. And then I found out afterwards that this is alcohol.
Yeah, he said this mofo put alcohol in here and he has a tennis game after
so
this.
As soon as we're done with this, I'm taking my son to go play some tennis.
Yeah.
So
it's gonna have a good time, I'll tell you that much.
Yay, Hollis.
You're welcome.
Are you looking for a watch winder, but you want something different? Well, you found it. It's the Enig Watch Bespoke Watch Winder. And this is the Impresario Series 6.
Is that pretty good?
As you can see, it holds 6 watches. They wind clockwise, counterclockwise, and bidirectional. And there's multiple speed settings depending on the need of your watch. The finish quality and build quality on this is top notch. It also has a fingerprint reader that can store up to 5 different fingerprints. And the best part is it uses silent Japanese motors. They are extremely quiet. And it also includes battery backup. That way, if your power goes out, you can still access your watches through the fingerprint reader. This is more than just a watch winder. It is a beautiful watch display case. It has LED lighting to highlight your watches, and this particular model has exotic wood with a piano gloss finish. Enig Watch Bespoke Watch Winders. The link is in our description below. Be sure to go check them out.
Yeah, we have a couple topics to get through today. It's kind of some trending watch news that I think are interesting and is actually very kind of crazy. At the very end, you'll hear about a crazy Ponzi scheme, over $5 million loss. Going through trial right now, something about his attorney. There's a lot of stuff in there, so just stay tuned to watch all the way through the end.
Yeah. What about a wrist check?
Yeah, let's do a wrist check. Before we do an official wrist check on us, there's a watch on the table if you haven't noticed, and this is a Carl Lehman Carl's watch here, and it's a classic field blue watch, very dressy. I think this is under $550, $600 or so.
Have you seen the other numeral version?
Yeah, with not Breguet. Is it Breguet?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Breguet.
Yeah, there's two options.
Numerals. Yeah,
we got the first one.
We did.
Yeah, this is a clean look. I wore it for a little while, and it's a beautiful watch. I got a couple compliments on it. Really good navy blue dial on
the
there.
blue is really, really beautiful. And the rubber strap is actually pretty comfortable.
Yeah, it's very comfy. It doesn't feel like a thin, cheap rubber as well. So it's a beautiful watch. The reason we have it is we're giving this away on Patreon right now. Not in this video, but it's going to one of our Connoisseur Club members as a faithful thank you for being on there. And this is one of many things we're going to give away. This is just for this month.
We're doing monthly giveaways. This is our very first giveaway, so I'm super excited about that. I think we'll record that giveaway tomorrow.
Yeah.
Good for them. How many Connoisseur Club members do we have?
We have 5 now.
We have 5. So you've got a 1 in 5 chance of winning this watch.
One of 6 if you join now. So yeah, definitely join in. We have a lot of other things more than giveaways over there. Really good benefits and things that are still in the works.
Yeah.
A lot of community conversations over there too. Kind of feels like a daily. What are you wearing right now? Let's talk about what you're looking into. So yeah, join us over there. A lot of exciting things happening.
Yeah. What about you? What are you wearing?
So right now I'm wearing the Tissot. Sorry, everyone. Do you know?
Tissot?
We just talked about this. How people hate on how we say words.
Listen. So we just had a conversation before we started recording. I'm going to say watch brand houses with an American accent. I am not French. I am not German. You know, I'm not Swiss.
Yeah, and I'm bilingual, so I have that excuse going for me. So it's Tissot or Tissot.
Tissot.
I don't know. I don't give a damn.
Tissot.
I like the watch.
I always say Tissot.
I always say Tissot. I don't know. It just comes out. They're a carbon PRX Powermatic 80, the forged carbon, beautiful watch. You guys have seen a little bit of the video review. Took it up to New York City, all that fun stuff. A lot of cool history about this watch. I like it. Whenever I see it on my wrist, I don't even check the time. I'm just looking at the dial.
The dial is so insane.
Yeah, it has that gleam, that sparkle.
It's very meteorite-esque.
Yeah, very fun to watch, very fun to look at. Honestly, for the price too, with carbon forged watches and like different types of materials of dials, this is so worth it. This is so worth the money you're going to spend on it. It's a little bit more than the $725 you spend on the regular Powermatic 80, but just for the fun uniqueness of this dial that you don't get anywhere else for this price tag, you know.
I agree. If I could only buy one of them, it would be that one.
Yeah. This was honestly freaking nasty. Nasty to have on the wrist. Happy to enjoy it. And reminds me of New York City. Again, I think I've said it before, but yeah.
It's cool that you're wearing that because I'm wearing my Audemars Piguet Royal Oak 15510, which is the newest iteration of the Royal Oak, but it is the watch that started it all, right? There would not be that watch without this watch.
Exactly.
And it's the OG.
On rubber too.
Yeah, on rubber.
Yeah.
And it's just a great watch, man. I love it. It's I love the the difference between the luxury of the rose gold and the sporty rubber. Kind of tones it down a little bit.
The fusion. I guess that's Hublot, so I can't say that.
Yeah, but it's a great watch. It's got really the best clasp in the industry, and the dial again different than that, but this honeycomb dial is just so much fun to look at.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm wearing today, rocking it out.
I told you the first thing that I saw when I saw it on your wrist was like how badass it looks.
Yeah, you came into the office. We were going to start talking YouTube, and you just stopped mid-sentence. Yeah. It was like, I love that watch.
I had to appreciate it very quickly. It's what I've said this to you before. The audience doesn't know. Like 2 watches that caught my attention before I was a watch collector. Yeah, was your Moser, Streamliner Green Dragon, and this
watch.
Yeah, this watch right here. So the first topic that we're gonna get into is Rolex acquired Carl Bucherer. Yeah, Bucherer a couple years ago. And now they're shutting them down.
I feel like you're trying to hide the fact that you're having difficulty.
I can't say it.
Yeah, I think it just sounds silly.
So yeah, Rolex has decided randomly to close Carl F. Bucherer, and as of February 10th, 2025.
Yeah, that's the announcement.
Yeah, well, when it was announced to close.
Their social is still active.
Yeah,
I just saw something on their social about like a newer watch that they have.
Yeah,
and it was
they're still selling watches.
They're still selling watches. So I don't know when the actual closing is supposed to be, but yeah, pretty soon, I believe.
Which was pretty crazy. So Rolex acquired CFB in 2023, middle of 2023. So it hasn't been that long. It's been 2 years, and then they're like, just kidding, goodbye.
So from what I understood, and this is not a watch house that I've ever paid much attention to, know about them, obviously, just being in watches, aware of them, but not anything that I've been that interested in. I do know that they're really known for their peripheral rotor design. That technology is very interesting. It's super complex. It makes for a beautiful display of the movement because there is no weighted rotor that's in the covering any part of the movement. In fact, what was that? Our Octo Famicio.
Yeah.
That watch actually used that same technology so that it could get so thin. So there's a bunch of pros to it. I mean, one is it's more complex. That's not the best pro. But the other pro, though, is that it doesn't cover the movement.
Yeah, you can see.
And because you don't have the additional thickness of a weighted rotor, you can get a lot thinner.
A little bit slimmer, yeah.
So they use that technology to be able to get that watch so thin.
Yeah, and their dress watch is kind of what I've seen from this brand is kind of what they're known for. So it makes sense for that type of complexion or whatever.
And so when Rolex acquired them, I think in the watch collecting community, people were like, this is going to be amazing for a multitude of reasons. They have established storefronts, and now Rolex eventually can take their watches and pair them in those established storefronts.
Right.
So it was going to be a method for them to allow access to Rolex watches more than just through ADs or just through boutiques.
Yeah, and that's something exciting for watch collectors.
Sure.
You don't have to go to a Rolex AD.
And maybe the thought too was that they were going to be able to maybe borrow some technology because they are a high-end watchmaker. So, hey, they're going to have access to some high-end watch movements and technology that Rolex isn't currently using.
Yeah.
And then, so they acquired them in 23, right?
Yeah, in 23.
In 23.
And also they have heritage too, which is kind of why this is all crazy. They've been around since 1888.
Yeah.
And now they're not going to exist.
Yeah, so Rolex acquires them and then is like, no, never mind.
Yeah.
I mean,
do you feel like it's like a...
That's cold, bro.
Do you think it's like conspiracy? Like they're kind of trying to nab at other brands?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's kind of crazy.
I mean, you think to yourself, why wouldn't Rolex just turn around and sell it?
Yeah, yeah.
But when you hear what the financial losses have been, 250 million Swiss francs that they lost, I think that's what Rolex lost.
That's crazy.
Just between the time of acquiring it to now.
Wow.
And that's massive.
Yeah, it's a big hurt
for them. How in the world has this watch brand been surviving?
Yeah, it's not like Rolex couldn't afford to keep them around, but also if the money isn't making sense, it's a business.
Oh, I'm sure they crunched the numbers and they were like, it would take us this amount in order to try to get it profitable,
you don't know.
And we still don't even know.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. I've heard that they're going to take all of the employees. This is what I've heard. They're going to take the employees and then offer them jobs at Rolex. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but
that's kind. I don't know if that's kind or like you're shit out of luck. Who wants to work for Rolex sometimes?
Could you imagine working for a high-end watchmaker and then they're like, yeah, go watch for Rolex, one of the most boring architectural watches design-wise.
You're going to do the same watch over and over and over and over for years. That would suck. Put in an application for Moser instead. That's what I would say. But what is interesting, though, which we talked about this a little bit, is the reason I recognize this brand was because they're in the John Wick films. So Carl Bucher is one of the ambassadors for John Wick, like the John Wick, Keanu Reeves. All the watches that he wears in those movies. It's kind of cool. And it sucks because...
It sucks, but I guess good for John Wick. They are done filming. I don't think they're making any more of those movies. And, maybe they'll do what... was it Mission Impossible? Not Mission Impossible. James Bond. Maybe they'll do what James Bond did. James Bond had Rolex, and then they dropped Rolex, and then went to Omega.
Yeah, Omega. It is interesting to see, maybe keep our eyes on the watch market for some of these pieces to see what happens. Because, I mean, if it's closed down, it's expected to go up. You're going to be harder to find pieces out there,
Yeah, either that or...
Tank.
I mean, maybe they tank.
Yeah.
Listen, if they lost 250 million Swiss francs, that means that they did not have a lot of interest in their watches.
Yeah, true.
So if there wasn't a lot of interest and they go out of business, maybe people are going to try to get them for deals.
Yeah, that is true.
And it could go either way.
And then it could spike up because that's how it is in any hobby collector.
Sure. If somebody starts to buy up a bunch.
Yeah, and then it's like, well, where did they all go? Well, I have one for this price. And it's like, well, that's crazy. I'll buy it. So it happens all the time.
Sure.
A lot of interesting things there. Just kind of keep your eyes out for what Rolex is going to do with this brand. And if it does close, which it seems like it will, or maybe something else happens. Maybe someone else will offer Rolex some money for it. That's kind of moving on from that. Let's go on to the next point here, which the Super Bowl wrapped up a couple weeks ago, and there was talks about Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes buying watches for the whole team if they won. And shocker, go Eagles. They did not. They did not win.
They did not win.
So what happened? What's happening to all these watches? It was two choices. What were they?
Sea Dweller or Daytona.
Yeah, or Daytona, which are just about the same value, maybe $1,000 more. They had those options. And they had engraving on them too.
Yeah, obviously they were going to be engraved.
Yeah,
probably Super Bowl champs. Who knows?
Whatever.
Maybe gifted by, or maybe their own. Yeah, maybe their own name on the back, each
name and number,
personalized.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows exactly what the engraving was going to be? But here's what I want to know is, obviously, if you had a choice, they weren't actually picked out yet.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So were those watches ready? And then Travis Kelce and P. Mahomes had to be like, sorry, guys, we're not buying those?
Yeah.
Or were they just going to be allowed to order them and then they were going to come in months from now?
Yeah.
That's what I don't know. But either way, how fucking embarrassing.
That's crazy, yeah.
I don't know, man.
It's a big yikes.
I would feel embarrassed.
Yeah. Not even just being... I feel like you have some repertoire, right? You have some cred. We're gonna win the Super Bowl. We're gonna give everyone these watches. And Rolex is like, yeah, you guys are gonna win. And then just kidding, we lost. And they're like, oh, okay,
and they're like, do you still want these watches?
Yeah, they're like, hell no.
Yeah,
we took a big L.
Yeah, what does it say over here? Total estimated cost between 1.7 and 1.39 million.
Yeah, for all the watches.
I'm sorry, 1.2, not 1.7.
So
1.2 to 1.39.
Averaged out about $1.3 million that Rolex could have made from these purchases.
Wow.
And not happening anymore.
Yeah.
And if they did make the watch, if they have the watches ready to go, not engraved, it kind of sucks because Rolex is like, oh, here's a guaranteed $1.3 million for us. And
yeah.
It didn't happen.
65 total Rolexes were lined up.
There was a lot of talk about the Rolex watches. What happened to them? Where are they? There's literally nothing out there. I've looked this up today. There's nothing about these watches.
No, there's no info that I could find. But I'm sure that Rolex has done a good job of scrubbing that.
Yeah, trying to handle it. And also, I'm sure. Travis Kelce is big right now. He's trending, so it's Rolex knows what they're doing. They're marketing guys at the end of the day.
Sure.
There's other celebration plans too. There's 35. I don't drink champagne, so you're gonna say this, and you're not French or whatever the hell this is either. So good luck.
Armande Brinac.
Brut Gold.
Yeah.
And 25 bottles of Louis Roederer Cristal, I guess is how you would say it. And 20 luxury cigar boxes, luxury cigars with 20 boxes. So one per each, whoever the freak was involved.
Yeah, total party budget of $200K.
Yeah.
Which that's not embarrassing. I think every team plans a party.
For sure, yeah.
You've got to get all that set up, and I'm sure they actually probably still threw the party.
I'm sure they did too. They also, I think there was a Caribbean vacation thrown in for everyone too. I'm sure maybe that didn't happen, but the champagne and the cigar boxes probably. On the Rolexes and the vacation, probably not.
I don't know. The very first thing that I thought of when I saw it on social was, fuck, how embarrassing.
I know.
I felt bad, even though I'm not a big fan of theirs. I did feel bad for them.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. You win some, you lose some, and no Rolexes. Move on to the
next.
No
Rolexes for them. I wonder if the Eagles picked it up.
You think the Eagles are like, well, we'll take that.
Yeah, we'll take those.
Give it to us at a discount.
Right.
Engraved with the Eagles wins. That would have been a crazy. Actually, that smart on you if you would have done that.
Yeah.
I would have been like, damn, that's a bold move.
Pulling
some shady
we
business.
got their watches, dude.
It even would have been cooler if it still was engraved.
If it was engraved, but it was crossed out.
Yeah. Crossed out with the. Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Get on it, Eagles, if you haven't already. Get on something.
Make some phone calls.
So the next big topic, which I would argue this is the biggest right now, is by the Timepiece gentleman. Anthony Farr. Yeah, Anthony Farr. There's a $5 million Ponzi scheme that's happened, and it's been unveiled. There's a lot of videos that he's put out, a lot of information out there, a lot of very mad multimillionaire people who trusted him with a lot of money.
Bob's Watches is one of them.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, Bob's Watches.
Sorry if you're watching. He's probably not. But
yeah, maybe.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Isn't that wild?
That is very wild.
I've been tracking this for a couple of years now, when it first broke.
I've just heard about it.
Yeah. So the way that I understand it is Timepiece gentleman, big on social media, big on YouTube. In fact, I used to watch his YouTube channel. He was a little douchey, but definitely was, kind of peppy and poppy, and there was some decent information to get out of his channel. So I did watch, not every single content that he put out there, but I did watch him.
Yep.
And then news broke about the text message that he sent, and it spread like wildfire on YouTube pretty quickly. Then he released a video where it says, "I finally hit rock bottom."
Yeah.
And when he released that video, that was massive. But from what I understand, he was taking consignments. So, imagine having a Richard Mille or, some grand complication by Patek. I mean, we're talking watches that are $500,000
Yeah,
plus,
crazy watches.
like crazy watches. And you're giving them to the Timepiece gentleman on consignment.
Yeah.
Well, what he was doing was he was taking them on consignment, and then he was selling them, not telling the owner that they had been sold.
Selling them, or sometimes even wearing them, like out and about to flaunt.
And then he was taking that money and he was using it to fund his lifestyle.
Yeah.
And it became a Ponzi scheme because after he did that once or twice, he needed to continue to fuel his lifestyle.
Yeah.
So then he was actually asking people to put their watches on consignment, and then they were sending them to him, and then he was doing it over and over again. And he was able to do that for I don't know the exact timeline, but from what I understand, he was doing this for
since 2017.
He was a dealer from 2017. In the beginning, he had some business partners, which I also understand the people that invested. He did take some of that money and use it to fund his lifestyle, and he hid that. Then he started the Ponzi scheme. But I think the first couple of years, it was probably more up and up.
Yeah.
And then it just snowballed.
You have to establish cred.
He had a cocaine addiction, which is, not good to have if you're in business. I don't care what business you're in.
No cocaine.
Gambling addiction.
Gambling, of course.
And he was an alcoholic. So he had all the demons.
the terrible vices you can have with money.
Yes. But I always make sure that anybody that I'm dealing with has a very, very solid reputation.
Yeah, cross-check, ask other people for references.
But it's always possible.
Yeah,
it doesn't
always.
matter. I mean, whoever has been in business for the last 5 years or 10 years, they end up with a gambling addiction, and who knows what could happen.
Something can happen.
You don't know what's going on personally with anybody.
And what was referred to you as a solid, reputable source is now not credited to be solid, and you don't know until something like this happens.
Yeah,
it's a big
it was pretty wild. I don't know if you want to play a little bit of the video.
Yeah.
This message is meant for my clients that are directly involved. It's for the dealers that are involved. It's for my friends that are going to be affected, my former employees, people in the watch industry that are going to be directly affected by my actions. I know my words don't mean anything right now, but I really am
they don't.
genuinely sorry. Just to talk about the first thing that popped up, which is that text message that I sent out to a few clients. That is a real text message. That is something that I sent. And I sent that, because life just hasn't been fun lately,
Bro.
Like the message.
I said that because life sucks. Yeah, it sucks so much. You're using someone else's money
You're
to fund
using
your lifestyle.
somebody else's money.
That's crazy. He said that. 1 minute apology video in, he's already effed it up a little bit.
Listen, when you listen to this, we'll put a link also that you can just watch the whole video.
Yeah.
But when you listen to this, it is the shittiest apology.
I know. It's like, oh, woe is me right now. That's all he's saying.
Everything is woe is me. My life is crumbling.
Wow.
And he feels bad for himself. He does not feel bad for the people he stole money from.
Not. He feels bad because he got caught.
He got caught. And the only reason this video was released is because all this information was coming out anyways.
Yeah.
The only reason he released that text message is because the information was coming out anyways.
Yeah.
And so he was trying to get ahead of it.
Yeah, he's trying to play the game.
And he was trying to make his clients feel sorry for him, so maybe they would not press charges.
Yeah. Please don't do that to me.
Yes.
I've had a lot of fun with your money, but please don't ruin my life.
I'm gonna make it right.
Yeah.
You'll hear him say that. He's like, I'm not taking the coward's way out. I'm gonna make it right.
He said he's gonna pay everyone back.
Yeah, I'm gonna pay everybody back. Complete bullshit. He's doing that because that sounds good to him. Because if you have a narcissistic mind, you think that sounds good.
Yeah.
And when you're a normal human, you're calling bullshit right away.
Yeah.
You're like, bullshit. Don't even say that, bro.
Yeah.
That makes it way worse.
Just manipulating the way someone feels.
Like the message said, I battled with demons, and I've let stuff get the best of me, and I've made a lot of bad decisions. I made a lot of dumb mistakes.
How much coke off of feet has this guy done?
Robbery.
That's what I want to know.
Hoping to cover it up.
We'll find out in my video.
Well, I try to fix it. And, it's gotten to where just living this fake lifestyle, this look at me, I'm smart, I'm successful, keeping up the appearances, it's eating me alive. I drink every night just to be able to go to sleep.
It's all about
him.
It is all about him.
You've screwed over 40 other really successful clients who trusted you with so much money and just trusting their watches.
So I believe of the 5 million, I believe 3 or 3.5 million was between either 3 or 4 people.
Oh my goodness.
Just between 3 or 4,
wow.
Like 3.5 million.
I've lied to my employees, I've lied to my clients, I've lied to my friends, I've lied to my peers. And it was all keeping up this facade. It was not being willing to admit that I'd made mistakes very early on. I'll admit it. I got a little taste of success and never wanted to forget that feeling. So
if you listen
when
to him,
I did make dumb decisions.
If you listen to him in anything that he talked about after this, that's like his recurring statement. He's like, I got a little taste of success and I didn't want to let that go.
Yeah.
I mean, it just sounds so gross because it's all about him. I mean, what this guy should have been like is, I fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry. I have hurt a lot of people, and I'm sorry that I've hurt a lot of people. And I'm sorry that I've taken your hard-earned money. It wasn't right.
Yeah.
Everything should be about how that I'm sorry, it wasn't right. It was the wrong thing to do. And that's not what this video is about.
Yeah, and he's also talking about it like he did it. Oh, I got a taste of success. No, you didn't, because if you're a normal human being, which he seems to be very narcissistic and very manipulative in the way he's talking, but if you're a normal human being, you're not going to feel good about taking someone else's money to fund a wealthy facade. I've talked
Lambos and houses and things like that.
I don't even, whenever I have something or I wear something or I want something, I want to do it. I want to be the one that finds the success. I want to be the one that gets that. He's based it off of their money. He didn't make any of this money.
I know. And I don't know if you've read the text message that went out. We may try to put a portion of it up just so you guys can see it. But in that, he lies.
Yeah.
Originally, even at the end, before this video, he was still trying to cover his tracks. He basically said that he had a bag of watches or a box of watches he was traveling with that got stolen.
Wow.
They got stolen, and then that's why he tried to cover it up.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he was like, well, I thought that I was going to be able to sell enough watches to slowly pay people back, because that's what he was doing. You, Felix, if you had, given him either money for the business or you had given him a watch to sell, and you're like, bro, where is my watch or my money? Yeah. I don't care which one. It's been 6 months at this time.
Yeah.
And then what he would do is, let's say that watch was $100,000. He'd send you like $5,000 at a time.
Yeah.
Basically, he was like, okay, well, here's $5,000. I'm in the middle of trying to get the rest of the money because these deals have all happened, but I'm going to give you 5 of my own, and once I close and the deals are done, then I'll give you the rest.
Yeah.
And he was just stringing multiple people along like that, just feeding them a little bit of money at a time.
And if you're on the other side of that, you're going to try. What can you do? you know?
Yeah, you're like, okay, do I take the 5,000 and keep my mouth shut?
Yeah.
Because if I turn him in, I don't even 100% at this point know that he's done anything wrong.
Yeah.
But if he has and I turn him in, I'm definitely not getting my money.
You're not going to see the money. Yeah.
So maybe I can collect some of it or all of it if he just keeps paying me. And so that's how this Ponzi scheme went on for so long, because people just stayed quiet because they were so scared. I mean, I would be too if I was hanging 100,000 plus out someplace.
Of course. And I mean, consignment generally, whenever you think of that, you think of like cars or something like at a lower end spectrum, like maybe like $50,000. Give it to this dealership, let them sell it for me. At this level, which is a luxury level, you're talking about $300,000 plus watches sometimes that are getting consignment deals of 5 to 5%.
Yeah.
He's going to get over a 2% maybe, you know, as what he was supposed to get. And he ended up getting way more than that and then screwing over whoever gave him the watch. Whoever's giving them the watch isn't going to look at the numbers all the time. I'm sure there's multiple watches and money they're dealing with. So they're like, oh, I'm missing $20,000 from this deal. It doesn't matter. He pocketed it. They don't realize that until way later. So,
yeah,
a lot of nasty things this guy's doing.
Yeah.
I want to skip to the middle and see his
You see that high point?
Most replay. Yeah, let's go here.
Yeah.
It's an embarrassing thing. Like I said, it's hard for someone like me to admit.
Okay. I'm done. He's just saying this.
It's hard like me. It's hard.
Bro,
it's hard for somebody like me
It's hard
to admit. You know, that's what he's saying.
Yeah.
It's hard for somebody like me to admit.
Feel sympathy.
Bro, admit. What do you mean admit failure? Because that's what he's basically saying. No, bro, you stole money from, like, straight up stole money.
Oh my goodness.
And almost in a worse way than just like taking this watch and then leaving with it.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a violation.
Sure.
You could argue both sides. It is a violation, but the manipulation.
Yeah.
The trust that was broken, the way that he probably groomed people.
Yeah, and it's like
there was some grooming involved.
The strings of stuff too.
Yeah.
Multiple. It's like you're not just lying to one person about something. He was like taking someone else's watch, selling it to someone else who just gave him money for a watch he didn't have.
Oh, and can you imagine on the other side of that? Imagine buying that watch from him and then finding out not only did you pay whatever, you paid $100K,
X amount.
And then the police come knocking on your door 2 months later. Sorry to tell
That's
you.
not your watch.
But that's not your watch. That's a stolen watch.
Yeah.
And that did happen.
Yeah, I mean.
That did happen.
It's the legalities there. Like, all you can do at that point is fight it in court for your money back.
I know.
That's all you can do.
So how long did he get? What he just was sentenced, which is the reason that this has all come back to light, is because he was just sentenced.
So his sentence is 5 years and 10 months in federal prison, 70 months. Fraud amount was $5.7 million.
Yeah.
And he's 36, so he's going to be in jail at least for 42 years, as long as...
No.
It's not.
He'll be in jail. He's 36. He's going to be in jail 70 months.
41.
And you have to assume that he probably, as good as a manipulator as he is, he's going to have some a reduced sentence for good behavior. I don't know what that is because I don't live in that world. But, you know, let's say he does 5 years. Yeah. He's probably going to do 5 years.
Oh, also, by the way, we didn't talk about this. He used some of those high-end client watches to pull secured loans as collateral. Yeah,
he basically was like, these are my watches, not on consignment. And they're bought and paid for, and I want to get
so scummy. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, a line of credit or whatever from banks. So
I feel like
it's one of the biggest scams.
Yeah.
In recent history.
I mean, like
$5.7 million.
How do you feel good about yourself? Like living this. I'm getting anxiety thinking about how much he had to, like, every day handle a phone call. Hey, where's this and where's this? And I'm like at a casino doing coke. Yeah. You're like, oh my, how do you live like
I'm
that?
sick over the people that got burned because it could happen to any of us that are into high-end watches that are buying and selling. And so I feel sick about that. I feel sick that he never gave a proper apology. Not one that I'm aware of.
No, not an appropriate one.
Yeah.
It's fake, whatever that was.
Of course, you know, a proper apology or an appropriate apology is never going to replace the money that you've lost.
Of course.
But bro, you deserve it.
Yeah.
You deserve it. And it just, somebody like this, a narcissist like this, is just, it makes it worse to me, I think. I don't know why, but It's so bad. So, I think the moral of the story is make sure you know where you're sourcing your watches from, especially when you're dealing with high-end watches. But, at any level, really. At any level. Yeah. So just make sure you understand where you're getting that watch from, that you trust it, that they're reputable, especially if it's not face-to-face. Especially. So
it could happen to anyone, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything else. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. A little bit of some crazy news that are happening. We'll kind of keep your eyes up to date to see what else is happening out there. Keep watching the channel if you're interested in watch news.
Yeah, I want to add that I think, where are we at? We're at 9,400 subscribers.
Almost 9.5.
And we have been mentioning this lately at the end of our videos, and that is, I really want to get to 10,000 subscribers. So if you're watching the video and you have not subscribed, please subscribe. It's free for you. It doesn't cost you anything, and it makes the world of difference for us. It really does help the channel. It helps the algorithm. It pushes us in front of more people.
Yeah.
So please subscribe, because we have a ton of people consuming the content, but they're just not subscribed.
Yeah, and also I'll add into there, thank you to the patrons that exist on our Patreon
1,000%.
right now.
Thank you.
In just a little amount of time that we've been on there, we've seen a lot of supporters already. You guys are awesome. We expect hopefully more supporters if you guys really do enjoy the content and that we're putting off. As little as $2 a month can get us a cup of coffee for what we do.
And as little as $2 a month. And then think about if you decide to join the Connoisseur Club.
It's something like this.
It's $25 a month, and we are going to be giving away multi-thousands of dollars worth of things.
And at the end of the year, we're going to be in the hole for what you guys are ended up getting for the giveaway. So it's no-brainer, in my opinion.
Yeah, $25 a month. There's a giveaway every single month.
Yeah.
And it is very worth it. So you don't have to join at that level. You don't have to join at all. But we have multiple levels, and I think the best value, even though it costs the most, is the Connoisseur Club.
Yeah, absolutely. So we appreciate all you on the patrons, but we also appreciate you for subscribing and watching this video all the way. And hopefully we'll see you in the next video.
See ya.